Best thing about this is I ain't see no alligators. I ain't see no alligators. No alligators. Battery's dying, but I got a bite, so I just wanted to see if I can get it.
Subscribe to Fishing with Sigma.
Good morning, beautiful day, family. We're out here about to start another fishing adventure. Welcome to another episode of Fishing with Sigma. Alright, today, family, we're going to hit up some spots, a few spots that we haven't been to. We're going to see how the fish is biting today. Got an epic video. Thanks a lot for the support from the first video. Recently posted. We got more to come. Alright, we're about to head to the first spot right now. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Alright, so we're at the first location right now. There's definitely some signs of life. This looks like it's a man-made little fountain pond, just at one of these local areas here in Florida in the Tampa area. Let's see what this is about. Alright, boys, we're going to start out with the good old trusty dusty Cinco, and we're going to see what we can do out here. It's looking pretty good. I saw a few bluegill swimming in here. So, where we see some bluegill, there's a good chance we're going to see some other fish, like our fish of the day, which is bass. Bluegill are considered bait fish to bass. That's what they like to chomp on. So we'll see what we can do out here. Right now, first cast of the day, just threw the Cinco in. Stick bait. This one I have right here is by Gary Yamamoto. Definitely makes quality bait. No free plug there. No endorsement needed. You know, unless you wanted to, Gary. Fishing with Sigma, baby. Yeah, a little pop up there, probably a little fish, or a little bit of a turtle, perhaps. No bite so far. We're testing the water, so we don't know what's in here. We do know you can get hooked up pretty easily, though. Alright, we're going to fish out a little bit deeper here. We're going to go switch up with the crankbait. See if we can get something through there. This little pond didn't like my Cinco, so we're gonna circle back to that. And of course my crankbait's like tied up with the line. Hate that, man. These treble hooks, they're so good, but they get caught on everything. Most of the time it's not even a fish. Alright. Let's get this out of here. First cast with the crank. That's the motion that I like. Bop, 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 stop. Let it pump up. Bop, 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 stop. Bop, 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 stop. Bop, 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 stop. So we're diving it down like mid-water. We're letting it come up some. So you can absolutely do like the full retrieve, fast retrieve. But an additional way, and another way you can do it, is by working it. And we working it out here today. It's a little windy, pardon the wind noise if you're hearing it. And I'm not sure if this lake has anything in it, this little pond. So this is completely first time fishing it. I saw it as I was driving by. It looks really juicy. There's no postings, which is like one of the most interesting things that I've come across here since I've been in Florida. The bluegill are interested in getting it. Might cast a worm out here and see. But there's so much water, literally every corner. Everywhere you go, there's water. But there's so many places. Off limits, no fishing, blah blah blah. We don't like fishermen. Anglers not wanted. So that's something that I'm trying to balance. You know, back where I'm from in North Carolina, you see water, it's fair game. You know, we don't have alligators and like water moccasins like that, so good old crankbait, picking up some of the seaweed, some of the vegetation. Things that are most interested right now are these little bluegill popping. We might have to take them home with us. Put them in a little pan. It's not as windy as it was the last time I was out fishing, which is good. It's just, you know, there's so many factors when you're fishing that you have to think about. You have to think about the water temperature, the barometric pressure. You have to think about the time of the day. You have to think about the depth that you're fishing in. You have to think about the type of fish that are here and feeding some of the fish that you're going for, like the bass. Are these guys eating shad? Are these guys eating bluegill? Are these guys, you know, chomping on some craws? Florida has pretty, I'll say, volatile weather in the sense that, you know, it can go from, it's always hot, but it can, no getting around that one. But it can go from hot, no overcast, to overcast, and still hot, but that provides some additional cloud cover. Or it can go from hot to hot and wet and rainy and sticky and extremely humid, and see a drop or a raise in barometric pressure depending on those conditions, and that will dictate some of the feeding habits that these fish will have. You know, so right now on the crank, I'm just getting a lot of vegetation. I'm gonna keep the crank out. We're gonna try a couple other spots here. We're just gonna work it out a little bit before we switch back to the Cinco, or look at maybe a different type of bait to run. I'm avoiding top water just because it's a little bit later in the day. The water's gotten a little bit more time to heat up throughout this morning so far. This vegetation is killing. So I'm wondering, you know, I know the vegetation is good for fish, but when you get such heavy vegetation, do you think that your chances are higher in catching the fish? Maybe because they're healthier, they have more protection, more shade of cover, maybe they're a little bit more active. But then you have to keep in mind, it doesn't matter how active they are, if you're getting hung up, or if your lure isn't doing its right motions because it's getting stuck in seaweed, even if you're getting it out, is it really benefiting you? You can have the healthiest fish in the world, but if they're not biting because of how your lure's rigged, set up, it's pointless. So the pond actually opens up to a little bit of a nicer, like more wide open area. As far as fishing goes, that backside over there looks a lot better. If I would have known how it opens up, I definitely would have looked into going that way. So we just switched it up. I had some worms with me, so we just threw out a bobber. First cast here. There's just a lot of vegetation out here on the bottom. It's not as deep as I thought it was. I might try switching up areas, But when your worm is like back in its native environment with all this vegetation, it's not boasting for good news. I'm gonna come down on my bobber some just because this really isn't as deep as I thought it was. Where are you guys going? Got my worms over here, like making this great escape. They're like, hey, So I learned a lot about worms recently. Like, night crawlers are invasive species of worms. So I'm using our red worms, local red worms. So I'm not contributing negatively to our natural ecosystem. I don't honestly know how much of a role that plays. It seems like it would be pretty minor on the surface, but I bet like a ecologist or like a biome specialist would yell at me and say no. They do so many different things. Look how scummy this water is. I figure like this isn't a really nice area. I figure they would get rid of this scum. Let me cast in this little area right here and see if it's slightly less scummy. This is where the current and everything's taking it. So you see that fountain right there? It's dragging, with the help of the wind of course, all of the scum, the debris, the algae, all the top surface things straight down here. So it's just building up where there's less motion and current here. Right behind me there's a bunch of trees, so that's acting as a windbreak. So that's why everything is building up sort of in this central area. If you look all the way down here on this left side versus that far side, it's all clear. Right here you see that all the scum is building up. It's not horrible, but it's enough to affect the fishing day.
We're going to get it.
I don't know, how do you guys do live worms? What's your favorite? I have these because I call myself a crappie fisherman. I've been catching our bluegills here lately, or here in Florida. North Carolina, I would tear up those crappie. How do you string your worms? Do you just like go through as many times as you can, leave a little edge for them to wiggle and swiggle? You get more in depth to it, like 3 times around the loop, 1 time around the back? Comment down below what you feel like is the best way to tie on a worm. We're gonna work the other side some, see if we have some better success. I'm not gonna call it luck today, unless that gives me the fish. I'll call it whatever the fishies want me to call it. So I'm gonna rig this guy like straight through his body, see if that gives me a little bit more leverage on these guys. So let me know what you think is the best way to rig a worm, a live worm. There we go. Come here, buddy. Nice little bluegill. Look at that. Look at his chest. Wow, this guy is actually really beautiful. Hey, bud. You're looking pretty beautiful. You gonna calm down for me? Yeah, sure, a calm little bluegill. Look at this guy. He's gorgeous. Make sure we're still filming there. This guy's like gorgeous. Took him straight through his mouth.
Subscribe to Fishing with Sigma.
This guy is stringer ready. I wonder if they put stuff. It doesn't look like they put stuff in here. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let him go. All right, bud. That guy's a normal meal for me. Lucky I'm in a good mood. And honestly, even beyond that, I even kept some of the worm. Nice. Like even beyond that, I wonder if they put stuff in this water. If they do, it's probably not. It's not what you want to eat fish-wise. You see that? So that's a fish. All right. We got another bluegill right here. With this one, we just need to be a little bit more patient, I feel like. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Yeah, you were hungry for that meal. Look at that guy. He's got like the classic blue. He's got the little red. I think they call them ears. So it's like a black ear with a red stripe. He's got some speckling. I'm not sure if you can appreciate that on camera. But he's got a little bit of a nice speckling there. And the same thing on this side. Thanks, bud. Alright, we're killing them now. And I still have worm left. I think that is the way to do it. I don't know if I'm ever going to rig up a worm any differently. Comment and let me know. Is there even a betterest? Is there a besterest? Betterominist? You guys know what I'm talking about. Got him. So that was the hook set. You saw what I did there? Look at this guy. They're getting fat around here. Woo, buddy. You've been eating good. Told that fish to get in my belly. Get in my belly. This is a large bluegill. We're gonna have to research this little pond and see if they do stuff to it. We might have to come back and eat you later. So you're safe for today. But I do want to check to see your weight, buddy. You're big. He's over a half a pound. Over a half a pound bluey, baby. Jeez. He can definitely be two-handed. But if you look at the difference in him, if you see right here, he's got his slime layer, which I don't want to mess with here. But he's got his blue ear, or his black ear. But then, unlike the other one, this guy doesn't have any of that red next to him. And he also doesn't have red on his belly. I don't think he'll let me show you that. Yeah, but see, if you look here, he doesn't have red on his belly either. So he looks like he's different. He's a little hybrid. He's got like a little bit of damage down here to something. I don't know if that's just wear and tear, if there's like an alligator or something. Good release, bud. But we are slaying them out here. What I tell you, Sigma, the bluegill slayer. No, I'm not a player. Hey, wormy worm. What you doing down there, bud? You just hanging out? You mind if I use you?
I offer you as tribute.
No! Use me as tribute instead! When they feel the hook, they're like, I'm out of here. I've heard about this hook. My buddy died in a war to the hook 2 years ago. I'm probably gonna throw another worm on here. There we go. Ooh, it's a good one. This is a good one. He's a fighter. There are some fat bluegills out here, baby. Let's go. They're eating good in the hood. Look at this guy. He's a chunky monkey. Chunky butt. Woo. This guy even has little pectoral fin, or I guess those are ventral. Little ventral fins right there too. Wow. This guy's a monster. You're a monster. Sigma, the bluegill slayer. Catch some more bluegills. He's gonna run for mayor. SWS, Fishing with Sigma, album coming soon. Scratch that. More bluegill coming soon. Give me a worm. All I was saying is, you know, just recently getting into bass fishing, just recently getting into learning lures. Those days can be pretty rough, pretty gruesome sometimes. You know, if you're not getting skunked, you're like pulling one or two fish out, and that's tough. Spinning all day for 2 fish. It's like that sometimes with bass fishing. It's like that sometimes with fishing in general. So it's good to be able to find a little spot, roll up to it, never fished it before, and then clean it out. That's what we're doing. Don't you run into the stumps. Get out the grass. Get out the grass so I can cook your ass. Let's go, baby. The rhymes are free. The fishes too. Let's go. Now he's got a really weird hook set here, so I'm just extra careful with this guy so he doesn't flop around. So this joker actually got hooked. Okay, no, it just wrapped around when he got hooked there. That was a perfect hook set. Got hooked straight through the mouth, a little bit hole right there through the little cheekbone. Bluegill with this guy. So here's another difference. This guy bluegill, no red here, like slightly like tan on the breast, but still, like this guy, it would be like a third or a fourth different looking bluegill just from today that we've caught. Get back in there, bud. Look at that. So he bit it and ran away. Let's see if he comes back. Someone's back. Yep. Come here. Stay down, bud. Stay down. Get out of here. Look at this guy. These are some of the fattest freaking bluegills. Oh my gosh. And I get my worm back here. This guy has a mouth on him. This guy is a cursor. Oh, look at him putting up a fight. He's like, get out of me. Don't touch me. Look at this guy.
Don't touch me. Okay? Don't you touch me. I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. And thank you for spinning my worm back out. You're the real MVP, Bluegill. You're the real MVP. So crazy. We come out here with one goal in mind, catching some big, fat, juicy bass, and we end up switching our game plan and find the honey hole for bluegill. And we come out here and we start slaying the bluegill left and right, and we're talking about nice, big, fat, juicy, big booty bluegills. I'm not talking about the little bluegills. Look at this guy. Look at this bluegill fighting. Oh my gosh. You will come. You will get out of here. You will get in my belly. You will get in my belly. Oh my gosh. This is so fun. Woo! Look at this guy. He's fighting too. But you can see he's got some purple coloration there and a little bit of tan coloration up here. I don't know if you can appreciate that, but this guy's a chunk too. All these guys are not little babies. All right, get back in there. And there's just so many. These guys are, so bluegill are schooling fish. So you see me staying really central to this area and trying to find spots that are within, you know, like casting within a very, very small window. Not so close out here where it's so shallow. Not quite in this middle area. Near the grass, yes, but right outside of the grass where it gets a little bit deeper. There's like a little plateau right here, and then it will dip down a little bit and get a little deeper, and that's where I'm fishing at. And that's where I'm killing them at. Best thing about this is I ain't see no alligators. I ain't see no alligators. No alligators. Man, it's hot out here. It's so fun catching these guys. Like almost makes up for the heat. Almost. I really would like to do some fishing elsewhere too. So if we can build a community, if you guys are interested in seeing me fish, hopefully you're enjoying the fishing. Hopefully you're enjoying the entertainment as well. And if you are, we can do something. We can make this special. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's one way you can tell me and show me that you like what I'm doing. Here we go. Here we go, baby. And we got our first bass of the day. We got the first bass of the day. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We had the first bass of the day. Oh. You're back out here fishing with Sigma. I re-rigged my line, got a little bit of a different setup here, a little bit more official setup. Since we were having some pretty decent success, I went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to do this the right way. So right here, just to show you what I'm working with, I have a Fluger President, or the El Presidente as I like to call it. It's a 6.5 foot medium action rod with 6 to 12 pound line rated for. I really like it. It has these bamboo corkscrew look type of handles, which are pretty comfortable. And to pair with that, I have the Fluger President reel as well. I don't quite know the model number. It's a 6935 on this one. But basically it's the comparison reel with the rod. It's a 5-to-1 gear ratio. On here I have a slip knot tied. I have a bobber stopper. I have a bobber and I have a weighted hook attached to a worm. Here we go. Here we go. We're making up. We're making up for lost time right here, baby. We don't know how much. All right, calming down, bud. We don't know how much time we have left here before the weather changes. Like I said, it'll change in a heartbeat on you. So we're gonna go ahead and get this out your mouth. I'm running out of fish, worms as well. I'm not running out of fish, clearly. Get back in there, bud. Let's see if we can still reuse this worm. I'm hopeful. Hey, Mr. Bass, if you want to come around now, you can. Just saying. Next cast. Huge monster. Look at this. This is a medium. This is a medium reel. We talked about this medium reel. Look at the bend on that thing. Look at that monster chunk of a bluegill. We were killing them out here. Woo! Let's go. Look at this guy's belly. He's been eating so good. Get your butt back in there, bud. Here we go. Another little bluey. Get out that water. Get out that water, baby. Here we go. Nice guys. These guys put up so much of a fight, even when they're just in your hands. Or that vegetation. Oh, he was barely hooked on there too. Good job. See ya, bud. Let's see if we can reuse this worm again. It's down to the little skibbles. See if we can get a bass out here. That would make the day. You guys tell me, does that last bass count? That's what I want to know. I'm curious. I got him. There we go. Oh, it doesn't matter if the last bass counts. Get out the woods, bud. Because this bass definitely counts. He's up on shore, baby. We got him. We got him. I don't know if this is the same one or what. Come here, bud. Thank you for allowing me to catch you. I appreciate it. There we go. He swallowed that hook, man. Look at this beauty. Beauty of a bass right here. Look at that guy. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Let me get you back in here. And there you go. Yes! Oh man, that's such a great feeling. Today we came here on a mission to go out to a new lake or a pond and try and see if we can catch some fish. We had a really slow start. You know, I was debating, hey, is there life out here? I'm looking for, you know, signs of action, fish busting through the water. I saw a little bit of fry. I saw maybe a turtle or two. You know, so I was optimistic, but I wasn't quite convinced. And then the wind really picked up and it caused me to move on the opposite side from where I wanted to fish. And, you know, I was throwing the Cinco out, I was throwing the crankbait out, and I wasn't really getting the hooks I wanted. And then I remembered I had some worms with me. So as, you know, my environment changed and some factors changed that sort of threw me off from where I wanted to be, I decided to change as well. So what I did with my change was switch up the way I was fishing and what I was fishing with. So then I started to start with, hey, let me see, I saw some fry out here, I saw some bluegill. Let me see if I can, you know, start working on them, get a fish or two, build some confidence up, and maybe transition into a bass. And that's exactly what happened. You know, we threw out the bobber with some live worms, and we started cranking out some monster bluegill. And then I caught a bass, and then it broke on my line. So I restrung my line, threw it out there, caught another, you know, huge bluegill. And then I was like, yeah, it'd be really nice if I can catch a bass, you know, and actually land them out here and share it with you guys. And I was just able to do that. So it's just an amazing feeling. I appreciate you coming on this journey with me. Super exciting. Well, I can't stress how beautiful of a day it was today. Coming out fishing. Unfortunately, we're getting rained out. The wind really picked up, the rain started coming down, and the bite just completely stopped. But we were able to get a nice big bass. We got 2 today, but we definitely got to showcase one of those big bass out for everyone. We caught about 20 bluegill out here, all different shapes, sizes, colors, but all of them for the most part were chunkers. I'm talking about ½ pound and above. This was an amazing day of fishing. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for joining and sharing in this experience with me. I'm hoping you have a blessed day. And as always, find what you love and do it.